If I stood out in the rain night, my only light a candle a million miles away, would you lay down your fire as I raised mine? Would you not kill again? No, when you're near me, oh my love, oh my joy, there's nothing ever to weary me, oh my darling one. If I walked as one of many more, my only time the present, now and here, would you undo those palms, one for each step taken, and let a future draw near? And oh, when you're near me, oh my love, oh my joy, there's nothing ever to weary me, oh my darling one. And if I took no food on this one day, my only life this water, a life or more away, would a child more than live? No cries of hunger, no cries, would they not starve again? When you're near me, oh my love, oh my joy, there's nothing ever to weary me, oh my darling. If I stood out in the rain in the night, my only time the present, a million miles away, would you lay down your fire as I raised mine? Would you not kill again? And would you lay down your fire as I raised mine? Would you never kill again? And oh, when you're near me, oh my love, oh my joy, there's nothing ever to weary me, oh my darling one. And oh, when you're near me, oh my love, oh my joy, there's nothing ever to weary me, oh my darling one. Thank you. Thank you all. I look forward to hearing from as many of you who want to tell us about your journey. And first, I just want to make some announcements. We have a really full schedule of stuff coming up here. Tomorrow is a board meeting, and board members are invited to attend, and invited guests. So why did I even tell you that? And then Thursday, we feature Maura Smiley, who is a force of nature, of a vocalist and song stylist. She is accompanied by a group called Shelter Music, that whose challenge is to bring high quality, beautiful music to vulnerable, underserved people locked in prisons or in hospitals or homeless shelters. It's going to be a wonderful night. Maura is a friend of mine from a long time back, and she is magic and power. Maura Smiley, Thursday. And then we have, on Sunday, 3 members of the church who are, we call them alumni of the PIC, which means Prison Industrial Complex. And these are folks that survived it and are wonderful, compassionate members of society and also of our own congregation. So that'll be on Sunday. These are all live streamed events, dependably on YouTube. We're trying to figure out an app that allows us to broadcast on multiple platforms as well, and we're slowly figuring out how to be on a lot of other places as well. So keep out for that. I forgot Saturday. Saturday we have Betsy Rose. She's a legendary voice of the women's music movement of the late 70s and early 80s. She lived in Cambridge till maybe late 80s and then moved to California. And we are going to welcome her back, Betsy Rose, this Saturday. And then next week, we are going to be remotely broadcasting from the Theodore Parker Unitarian Universalist Church. The speaker is named Linda Dittmar. I have a copy of her book here. This is a remarkable book. I couldn't put it down. Usually I only get this far in just about every book I read, because books come at this church so fast. You know, every other speaker seems to have a book that they just wrote. This is called Tracing Homelands, Israel, Palestine, and the Claims of Belonging. Linda was born an Ashkenazi Jewish in Palestine, and when she was 10 years old in 1948, it became Israel. And this book is about her travelings through what's now 1948 Israel, looking for traces of Palestine under the ruins and the rubble, and finding minarets in the middle of nowhere, still there, still standing, or looking in the forests that were planted to hide the traces of villages that were disappeared in 1948. It's a remarkable book. Linda Dittmar, and we'll be live streaming her on Monday. And then we come to the end of that week, May 24th, and that is a benefit concert for Community Church of Boston. We're in a really interesting financial place without a tenant on the first floor. And 100% of proceeds. The performer is named Dean Stevens, and that would be yours truly. And it's my 70th birthday that day. So we're going to have a good time, and we're going to raise some funds to keep this place afloat. Thinking about tracing homelands and Linda Dittmar's book, I want to sing you this song, and when we can go to some other people who will be joining and contributing to our evening here tonight. We have 2 people from Woodstock, New York. The author of this song is from Woodstock, New York. His name is Tom Pacheco. The song is called Homeland. Have you ever been homeless? Have you ever been lost? And you know where your home is, but you can't get across. Do you dream of the orange groves where your grandfathers lived? Do you suffer such sorrow that it's hard to forgive? Cry, cry, cry as the refugees wait. Shut your eyes to the sorrow, shut your ears to the hate. Try, 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 they just won't go away. May the Palestine people have their homeland someday. Like ashes they scattered to dignity shattered, with all feelings of worth, living life like gypsies, on the road, on the run, with the heels of their history close so far as the sun. Try, 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 as the refugees wait. Shut your eyes to the sorrow, shut your ears to their fate. Try, 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 they just won't go away. May the Palestine people have their homeland someday. And heart, mathematics and science, and grace, grace in the arts, caught between the wall and the sea, and the bombing assaults, and the settlements growing, till there's no land at all. Cry, 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 as the refugees wait. Shut your eyes to the sorrow, shut your ears to their fate. Try, 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 they just won't go away. May the Palestine people have their homeland someday. Someday, someday, someday. And finally, let me have you sing this with me. It's a beautiful refrain of a mantra, just over and over. It's written by Joyce Anderson, who lives at the place where you all started your walk, York, Maine, right next to Algonquin, where we were exactly a week ago, kicking this thing off. Man of anger, man of war, my heart is filled with love. Tell me what you are fighting for. My heart is filled with love. It says that over and over. This death I see won't make me blind. My heart is filled with love. Every boy a mother's son. My heart is filled with love. Raise your voices, spread the news. My heart is filled with love. Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Jew. My heart is filled with love. They all teach the golden rule. My heart is filled with love. Do unto others as you've had them do. My heart is filled with love. I will not fear these foreign tongues. My heart is filled with love. There is a place for everyone. My heart is filled with love. I cannot make their will my own. My heart is filled with love. But fear can turn a heart to stone. My heart is filled with love. I do not know my neighbor's name. My heart is filled with love. I love that stranger just the same. My heart is filled with love. Hope is rising from this place. We have on the line our good friend, filmmaker, author, novelist, educator, poet, David Rothhauser, who is a dear friend to this church, deeply involved in things. Sacco and Vanzetti did a film about Sacco and Vanzetti, did another film about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and wrote a historical novel about Sacco and Vanzetti as well. And David has a poem and maybe some words to share with us. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you very much, and thank you, people on the Peace Walk. I commend you enthusiastically. I wish I could go, but I cannot. In any case, what I would like to do is share a poem I've written. I've been doing a lot of writing about the war in Gaza, and I have a lot of things I'd like to share. But this is a short poem, and I think it reaches to the heart of people. And here it is. Children. At the end of the day, in the dusty corners of our minds, the horrors of this war will fade, as they always do. Semite, anti-Semite, collateral damage, hostages, terrorists, winners, losers, heroes, all and all of it will become a dim memory in the illusion of our dreams, gone as wispy clouds sigh away on their west to east, with Middle East in between. Yet hearken, before we lose that final sweet note, desperately clinging to our aborted entrails, let us forever remember the children, here and there and everywhere, in our open eyes, guts, stomach retching, mind searing, arms begging, hearts racing, cascading tears and laughter. They are all our children. They belong. A final word. The murder of children is non-debatable and non-negotiable. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I want to tell you about one more thing which might happen, might not, but it's a good thing to tell about. I just got a call. I haven't talked to her yet, but someone looking for a venue for Dr. Alice Rothschild to speak. And this is a group of medical professionals, and we're going to do it at an auditorium that's at the Brigham and Women's Hospital. But it was canceled on them. Why? Well, Dr. Rothschild, who's spoken here a couple of times and who's a well-known exponent of Palestinian people, especially Gaza. She's been there as an OBGYN numerous times. It seems like after every one of what the Israelis call the lawn mowings, she was there with more excruciating photos of devastated buildings, and this is that, but on steroids to the level of genocide. Anyway, Dr. Rothschild is retired from her practice and now lives in Seattle. And I saw recently her interviewed by Miko Peled on his podcast, another good friend of the church's. Dr. Rothschild told two amazing stories. The first was that she told about the founding of Beth Israel Hospital, which she said was founded by Jewish doctors who could not get admitting privileges at Brigham and Women's Hospital. And then she told about her own experience, where she had been multiple times to Palestine, Israel, and she asked the head of her department for some contacts. She wanted to make some contact with some OBGYNs in Israel, and the head of her department at Beth Israel Hospital, where she practiced, said, "No, I would never give you that. You're for Palestine." So that you take these two stories, and you know, it's like total anti-Jewishness, which is a thing, and now you take this other story where it's turned around in the other direction. So that would be Amar. Can you admit the people who had? I want to recognize two assistants. Amar is presently indisposedly ill, but he joins us online. He's usually back there running the broadcast, but he's doing it remotely. The other person is Charlie Welch, who is our sound engineer, and he's with us as well as a bunch of other folks online. We'll have to call out their names and say hello to each one of them. And by the way, if there's any of you online who want to share with us, we're all ears. We're all ears for you. Virginia, would you like to come up here and say it? Because the folks out there can't hear you. There's about 15 and probably more on YouTube.
Okay, well, first of all, apologies for being late. Second, I was delighted to see there's a group of young people downstairs who are organizing around Palestine. And third, in my neighborhood, Jamaica Plain, there's a newly formed group called JP for Palestine. We had 50 people in attendance on Sunday. And we're not going to meet next Sunday because Alice Rothschild with Nora Lester Murad are both speaking at the Baptist Church in JP, aiming to talk to educators about how to talk about anti-Semitism. And it would be wonderful to have her here, and it's good to know that she's also doing good work. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us know that many educators are under attack. One of the Wilf friends, Nora, who is a Jewish woman married to a Palestinian who writes books for children to try to address racism, particularly with regard to Palestinians, is continuing her good work.
Yeah, so that's Virginia. That event is on Sunday?
Right, you have to register. They are hoping for a
Okay.
full house. Like
And it's
their priority is to have educators.
yeah. And it's Sunday evening or
Sunday at 5.
at 5 p.m. Sunday, First Baptist Church,
There may not be
Jamaica
room.
Plain, and find out how you can register for that. We don't have that information right away, but we will have that on our Facebook page. Alice's event here is we normally on Tuesday, one Tuesday every month we have the Fifth Ward Democrats who meet in this space. So we can't use this, but we have another one downstairs, which is the vacant restaurant, and we can possibly have it there. I haven't really finalized that for next Tuesday, but it might happen, it might not. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We also have an old friend with us who's on the walk, who's spoken here 2 or 3 times before. He's a veteran of the Iraq War, and he's also a magnificent poet. And we were talking about ministerial honorifics, and Reverend Eric Wasilewski is his name, and I was asking him, you know how in the Episcopal Church, sometimes you get to put the in front of your reverend, and I wanted to know. He's not Episcopal, and he wouldn't know all about that stuff. I want to know how you rate to have the in front of your name, or to have the right reverend, and then there's the very right reverend. And so I was thinking, my own honorific, the very fake minister, Reverend, irreverent, there you go, Dean Stevens. So let's welcome Eric. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Eric, for doing this walk.
Dean, we lost your video feed.
Let me go find out what's going on. But you can hear the audio, so they can hear you, and I will try to get your face in the camera.
Yeah, check the Zoom up.
So one of the first things that we did when we were walking is we walked up to the leftist marching band, joined us. So after having Dean introduce me, I'm going to call myself the left minister. How's that? Instead of the right one. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about the walk. And we started in Algonquin. And Veterans for Peace is an organization that was founded in 1985 in Maine. It's grown. There are hundreds of chapters nationwide, worldwide. We have chapters in Europe. We have chapters in Mexico, Vietnam. So they're on several different continents. It's a pretty exciting movement. The veterans movement's growing. This piece, I wrote it for the opening of the walk. It's called Gathering in Algonquin. How apropos for us to gather here in Algonquin with the intention to quit guns, to quit missiles, to quit mines, to quit torpedoes, to quit drones, to quit tanks, to quit grenades, to quit ships, to quit bombs, and to quit bayonets. As salmon, we are drawn to our birthplace, to renew a generation. VFP, Veterans for Peace, was founded in Maine. In hopes of spawning a new peace movement, we set out to share our hope and our courage. A time of havoc, with the dogs of war loose and the drums of war reverberate. Peace ain't popular. It's near a dirty word. In a modern-day Salem witch trial, good people are turning their backs to us. Some say we must be working for Russia. Others that we must be anti-Semitic. But we are veterans who abhor war and know its true costs, environmental, psychological, and in terms of lives. The world is burning. Nations train for war. A grim situation. We take our cue. In these times, that's what pilgrimage is for. And we carry the peace drum, the Demaku. We gather to reckon what can be done and to walk the walk so we can talk the talk. Peace is inherently spiritual. We are walking for the soul of this land, to engage the powers of darkness and to create space for the power of love to come into this world as instruments of peace. The peace movement is moving. Here we go. Thank you. And David, I just want to say, it's so great to be reading with you on a stage again. David and I have read together a lot over the years, and thank you for being here with us tonight. I'm just going to share a couple more pieces and I'll get out of the way. This piece is called Forward Deployed, very short. I was passing by a mosque at sunset and, distracted by the beauty, walked headlong into a mother, scattering her bags. I helped her put the groceries back into her satchels as her children stared wide-eyed. We could not speak to each other and smiled and parted company. I glanced back up at the sunset and I heard a song being sung. It was the Muslim call to prayer. And though I did not understand their words, My heart felt their faith, and I knew these people were not our enemies. That's forward deployed. All right, I'm going to get one more and I'll get out of the way here. I want to read what I haven't read before.
Only one more?
Okay, well, if you insist, I might do two. Let's see here. Let's do. I want to do one I haven't done yet. So this one's called Fine. So a lot of the walkers have been hearing me do all my poems. So this one I haven't done on the walk yet. Fine. I'm fine. How are you? Fine, you say. We smile and we move on. We are both lying. Neither one of us is fine. Yet everyone we meet, we play this false game. Why do we do this? Are we too busy to say what is really going on? Are we lying to ourselves as well? Maybe we're avoiding the truth. Things are not fine unless environmental degradation is fine, unless endless race war is fine, unless being a wage and debt slave is fine, unless endless war is fine, unless broken people are fine, unless food insecurity is fine, unless fear instead of love is fine. There is a sense of disquietude in the land, and is also inside of us. It feels too large to deal with, so we say, it's fine. As a people, we are like the fabled ostrich, sticking our heads in the sand, and the monkeys who can't see, hear, or speak of this evil. We are meant to be so much more. And yet, we continue to live in a world of lies. And that's fine. All right, so I haven't shared this one on the walk either. This one's called The Saddest Hour, and it's not a peace poem. But it is a peace poem because family is part of it. This is a family poem. The Saddest Hour. Picking up my kids is always the best time of the week. I love the hugs and the smiles, and the excited chat about upcoming adventures, and catching up on our lives. It is truly one of life's most precious joys. All too soon, it's time to gather up the scattered bags and pack them, and then they are gone again. Loneliness and sadness return. I wander from room to room, find a chocolate milk cup, pick it up, find a sock, wash it. The hour after the kids leave is the saddest hour of the week. I pray for them and hope God will hold them until I can shield them until they're back in my care. Or is it that I am in their care? Soon the heavy sadness ebbs and passes. Life goes on, but I always miss them. That's the saddest hour. Thank you for having me up here. One anecdote from the walk while we're in between here. Okay, one anecdote from the walk. Every time we're walking down the street, and it happens all the time, we get a lot of folks who don't even look at us at all. They pretend we're not even there. And so that's one thing, and I don't know how to reach those folks. But a small percentage of the folks that go by give us the bird. And they yell at us, they scream at us. And some of them really are intimidating and scare us a little bit. So they're up there giving us the bird. And we realize that I like these people better in some ways because I know that they care, and the bird is halfway to the peace sign. So at least there's something there. That is something good. While we were walking the other day, we were in Salisbury, Mass. And we look over, there's somebody yelling at us. And we look over, and there's this dude wearing a tricorn hat, and he's wearing a Minuteman outfit. And he's screaming, his spittle coming out of his mouth. And he comes over to us, and he tells us we're walking over to this, we're on a park, and there's a Veterans Monument there. And he orders us not to go to the Veterans Monument. It was a tense moment. And so when I mentioned in my poem that we are experiencing hardships out there, there is a bitter anger and really hatred toward the peace movement right now that we are taking the brunt of. We're trained to not respond. We're trained to be pacifists. But when someone's in your face like that, it's hard. And we were tried, and we passed that test. And we passed the test again today. We were on Mass Ave just after we had been at a vigil, and some dude, he was jacked. He looked like he was on roids. He got right in our face, and he's telling us we should go enlist, we should do this, we should do that, and it was a nervous moment. And when he turned around and walked away, we were all happier. But we are facing real hardships out there, and so your support and gathering together and bringing us in like this, it means a lot to us. We are undaunted. We are going to finish this mission, but there is a lot of hardship out there, and we are happy to tell you about it. And before I walk away, Dean, who's the next person coming up here?
It's an open mic.
Open mic, okay. So don't make me call on you. Joe, don't make me call on you. Anybody want to say a few words? Online, maybe? Don't everybody jump up at once. Joe, come on, say something. All right. Go. It's bright.
My name's Catherine Bach. I live in Burlington, Vermont. I just want to add to what Eric said. There's a third kind of people, and those are the ones that say thumbs up, and they say thank you, and they read the sign that says we're walking from Maine to D.C., and they say, wow, that's a long way. And those are the people I like the best.
I'd just like to have you all hold this man in your heart. And thank you to Dan Kontoff, who brought us this poster that we've had for a couple of weeks now, Aaron Bushnell. And I will say presente, and you all say 3 times presente, okay? Aaron Bushnell, presente.
Presente, presente, presente. Dean, there's something
Also-
bothering me about this. There's one thing I got to do here, just in front of everybody. He's presenting arms, and he's honoring. He's rendering honors here. And so,
Please.
as a veteran,
To everybody.
there's one thing that this picture of Aaron Bushnell, he's saluting. He's rendering honors, and it's an opening gesture, and there's a gesture that is yearning to be returned. His salutes are always returned, so I feel like I have to return a salute. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. And can civilians salute as well?
Absolutely. You can hold your hand up to your yeah, there you go.
I don't think I went that fast enough. Any other thoughts from any of those present, of the walkers? Oh, start by telling us your name. Yeah.
What I like today, when we were, I think, at the second place, joining other demonstrators, and a family came by, a woman with 2 kids. Now her hair was covered, and she really looked the part of somebody who was from the Middle East. And the kids were passing out cookies to us. And I was just touched by that. I think I'm going to remember it for a while because I just can imagine she was telling the children, there are people in this country who care. And we're those folks, right?
And the cookies were Palestinian flags.
Oh, no kidding. The cookies were Palestinian flags. Wow. Well, the ADL is telling us that that's a swastika symbol. Can you believe that? What do they know? Yeah. They were once a very valid organization fighting anti-Judaism, and now they send police to Israel to learn how to deal harshly with hostile populations. It's really a sad thing. And now they're trying to define what anti-Semitism is, although I've always had a problem with that word because Semites are Arabs and Jews. And so what it really means is kind of a pox on both your houses, which is just as bad. How about we love both your houses and we want both your houses to come together and learn to live in peace. And to that purpose, I'm really looking forward to the end of our season. And I'll tell you the reason. There's this thing that you should check out called IPC, Israel Palestine Confederation. And the moderator and originator of this is named Joseph, I can't remember his last name. But it's basically an online organization who features a lot of different academics and speakers and politicians, and from both sides of the conflict, and they are setting up a sort of model constitution for an Israel-Palestine confederation. And they're going through the motions of what it should consist of. And they meet once a week. Unfortunately, it's Sunday at noon, which is why I haven't even been able to join once, but I'm on their mailing list and I receive really interesting announcements about what the next week is going to deal with, and it's sort of like a UN model UN that you used to people used to do in high school, or a, mock trial or something. This is just dreaming of the possibility of one state. It's an Israel-Palestine confederation, and not easy to get there, but it has to happen. This is unsustainable. It can't be. And naive little fake minister up here saying that, but this present reality is not in line with humanity or with civilization. You remember Gandhi's words about that? What do you think about Western civilization? Well, I think it would be a good idea. I love that. So maybe I'll sing an a cappella tune, and while I'm singing, maybe somebody else wants to come up and say something or other. Joe, I thought you had your hand up. So here's the song that is an old sort of hymn-like thing in German, but it was translated. Pete Seeger found a translation that is both German and English, and it's one of our anthems here. Die Gedanken sind frei means thoughts are free. Die Gedanken sind frei, my thoughts are freely flower. I'm going to go a little higher. Die Gedanken sind frei, my thoughts freely flower. Die Gedanken sind frei, my thoughts give me power. No scholar can map them, no hunter can trap them, no one can deny. Die Gedanken sind frei, I think as I please, and and this gives me pleasure. My conscience decrees, these thoughts I must treasure. My thoughts will not cater to duke or dictator. No one can deny die Gedanken sind frei, and if tyrants take me and throw me in prison, my thoughts will break free like blossoms in season. The structure will tumble, foundations will crumble, and freedom will cry. Die Gedanken sind frei, and freedom will cry. Die Gedanken sind frei.
Thank you very much. My name is Joe Cavadas. I'm a Vietnam veteran and a member of Veterans of Peace since 1987. And your walk is fantastic because basically, when you think about it, this is how our country has changed. I mean, the women to get the vote had to start in 1840, and they finally got the vote in 1920. I mean, civil rights. We had the NAACP started in 1906, and they got the Voting Rights Act by President Johnson in 1965. Look at the Vietnam War, how that ended. People were out in the street. I mean, we have gay rights, we have women's rights. It's all by being people out on the street. And it's very interesting. Daniel Ellsberg was influenced to bring out the Pentagon Papers due to a fact of a single person standing outside the Pentagon protesting the war in Vietnam. So a single protester can really, as we've seen, affect the changing course in our country. I was in Vietnam in 1971 when the papers came out, and suddenly in 72 they were giving us early outs out of Vietnam. So I look back at the Pentagon Papers that could have saved my life. And since my experiences in Vietnam, I look at it as trying to tell people experience is the worst teacher. That's for sure. So it's being out in the street, you have no idea how you are affecting people. And this walk going through down to DC, you're going to affect thousands of people. I mean, it's wonderful to have this walk. And you look back on Seb Bruin's wife, Seb Bruin was a veteran for Peace, Medley Butler Brigade with me. His wife in 1971 walked from Boston all the way down to Washington, D.C. by herself, protesting the Vietnam War. So we have to make effect by being outside on the streets and make sure we don't have our mind in the gutter. That's for sure. But anyway, it's just wonderful to have the walk going on, and it's just, you're going to affect many, many more people than you could ever imagine. And I'm standing out at many of the street corners in Boston. We even have one in Copley Square that started right here at the community church in 2001. And people come by, and some people even say, "You're still here?" This is like 23 years later. And it's just wonderful to get out there, interact with the people, and get people's ideas, because being out in the street, you learn a lot from the people out there as well as you trying to teach them. So having this walk is fabulous. I want to commend you for all this effort, and I'm sure that when you reach Washington, D.C., you will be very, very happy you did this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. There's one person who is not on the Zoom that I miss, and I'm going to send him the link to this recording, and that is Jim Casteris. Jim Casteris, who is a long-time, really dedicated member of Veterans for Peace from Korean War, Jim Casteris, who for 30 years took care of this building and was a very active member, now lives in Winter Harbor, Maine. If any of you from Maine ever run into him, please give him a shout out. Jim, we love you. Jim, there is a brand new roof over our head. There will be no more leaks into this auditorium, and we're going to dedicate that project, which cost $218,000, and half of it, thank you to the city of Boston for a grant, and the other half out of our very meager pockets. But we did it, and we are just so proud of that. And there's going to be a plaque dedicating that new roof to you, Jim. We love you. 4.5 hours away, and we wish you well. Jim lives now with his daughter, Winter Harbor, Maine. He's in his mid-90s, and often is with us online, whatever program we're doing on a Sunday morning. So thank you, Jim. One more little announcement: the 26th of May. Let it be known that this has wrong information. This says that we were going to have Jill Stein and Miko Peled. They both had to change their routes. Presidential campaign does that. So next time you're trying to book a presidential candidate, be ready to make alternative plans if necessary. And Miko had to go to a important Palestine conference in Detroit. So we have a different speaker. His name is Ketu Oladua. We had Ketu on April 6th, I believe it was. And Ketu is a magnificent poet from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He spent 5 years in jail on death row when there was a death row in Massachusetts for a crime that he didn't commit, and was finally absolved and freed. He is a magnificent poet and elder and spiritual leader in Fort Wayne, and he will join us on Sunday, May 26th. Ketu Oladua, and all these concerts we have. Let me ask if there's anyone else who would like to share. Oh, I saw Ellen Davidson's hand up. Ellen, hi. Are you with us?
I am with you.
Let me go spotlight you if Amar doesn't catch you first.
Amar's got me. So I just want to say I'm not on the walk, but I feel like I am because I've been meeting with a lot of the walkers for months as we worked on planning this, and I'm what's called the back of house person in theater, I think. So I'm with the walk in spirit, but doing the work that needs to be done behind the scenes. And this is going to sound a little contradictory because I'm speaking to you from Zoom, but I want to say that one of the things that I feel is really important about this walk, and it echoes what the man from the drumming circle said last night in Cambridge, is that it's about building community. And to build community, you really have to be together. You really have to meet people and build the community that way. And why we really wanted to do this as a walk for peace and not a Zoom for peace, or it's not about getting all the likes and the shares on the social media. It's about being out there in the real world with your feet on the earth and meeting face to face with the people, and really, because that's really the way you connect and build community. And I'm so grateful to Community Church for providing a venue for this to happen tonight, and for, as I said, it's a contradiction, but bringing those of us who can't be there physically in on Zoom. And I want to thank all of the walkers and thank Dean and the Community Church for making this happen tonight. So thank you.
Yay, Ellen, and thank you for your work on this project, and to Tarek as well. And please, when you see Tom Pacheco in Woodstock, New York, tell him I'm thinking about him all the time. I sing a lot of his songs. And
I'm going to tell him that you're singing his songs. And Tarek is out walking the dog.
Okay. Is there anybody else on the Zoom who wants to say hello or to join us? You can put your hand up, or you can put a note in the Zoom. I'm going to go and just read all the names of the people who are joining us out there. And there are probably a bunch more on the YouTube channel, but I can't get to you right at this moment. I'll name all of your names, and we'll say hello to you. There, I hope you can hear me now from back here at the laptop. I just want to say hi to Heather Hutchinson, to Joan, who I assume is Joan Livingston. Love you, Joan. Hope you're well and on the mend. To Larry Sr. Next is Community Church of Boston, which would be Amar, who is with us, helping us with tech support. Also, there's H.A. Penner. Hello, H.A. Penner. There is my dear Mary Kate, who is in Camden, Maine, and joining us, and we're going to see you in a couple of weeks. Mary Kate, I can hardly wait. There's Joan and Charlie. Hello, Joan and Charlie. There's Regina. There is Dolores Howard, and there is Jim Brazil. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It's really a treat to have you with us, and maybe I will go to the camera and pan it around the room a little bit so you can see who's here, and maybe they will, in a loud voice so you can be heard, tell us who you are. I'm going to the camera. This is Mr. Cameraman, who is also going to open the door when the buzzer rings, and also we have a meeting downstairs in the first floor of the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, Palestine Working Group. They're meeting in the empty restaurant space downstairs. So let me go do that. And I hope nobody is too camera shy for me to just celebrate all of these walkers. There's some there. And they're looking in the other direction. Hello. 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 And I have a limited range of motion with this camera, but you get a little of the feeling of who is here, and I can't go far enough down to the get. Go. Here he is. I got him. And there's. I'm going to give up on this. We're very amateur videographers. And let's end it on Aaron Bushnell.
I have something to say.
Oh, go ahead, up to the microphone, if you will. Thank you. Tell us your name first.
Hi, my name is Lauren Green.
Oh, wait. I gotta change the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Wait a second, Lauren. Let me tell you exactly when. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
My name is Lauren Green. I found out about this march and this effort from the Quaker Friends on Sunday, and I'm just delighted that the coincidence of meeting you at Harvard Square today, and that there was a safe transition for the camp that was at the Harvard Yard, and that it's open now to people who want to walk through there or meet with petition the president of the university for any reason. And children generally don't choose their religion, and I just feel that it is a horrible. It's one of the most horrible things I have ever seen, to the children and the mothers who were killed at in the hospital in Gaza in early October of last year, and that it just, I think one of the most effective ways we can stop this war is to see how the United Nations is working in trauma intervention for the people who are still alive in Gaza, and to help them heal from this. And this is a terribly unnecessary war for the innocent civilians who are living in Palestine and Israel. And I just feel that this has just been a nightmare to watch. And I'd like to do more to see that we put an end to this war as soon as possible and a long ceasefire. Amen.
Thank you all for being with us online and present here. We hope we can give you a comfortable night of rest, either places where you're staying or here in the church. And you're going to Wellesley tomorrow. What time is your gathering at Wellesley? Is there a certain time assigned? 6 p.m. Wellesley Friends Meeting House in Wellesley. So again, we'll close with a number I wrote with my friend Ed White. Ed White. Are you gonna be ready when the revolution comes? Are you gonna be ready when the revolution comes? The people gonna rise up. The people gonna make a stand. People are gonna rise up and take on back this land. Tell me, you're gonna be ready when the revolution comes. You're gonna be ready when the revolution comes. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. Tell me, you're gonna be ready when the revolution comes. Here we go. When pirates tremble with fear and hear the death bell ringing, when the people rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? Tell me, you're gonna be ready when the revolution comes. Are you gonna be ready when the revolution comes? It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. Tell me, are you gonna be ready when the revolution comes? They say the arc of history is a line that never ends. But when people rise up and take a stand, that line towards justice bends. Tell me, you're gonna be ready when the revolution comes. We're gonna be ready when the revolution comes. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. Tell me, are you gonna be ready when the revolution comes? Las sardinas se comieron al tiburón. Las sardinas se comieron al tiburón. This is a line I heard in Cuba and in Puerto Rico too. It is in Spanish. And may I translate it for you? I will. It says, the sardines ate the shark. It says the 99 sardines ate the big fat shark. Yum, 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 yum. Se comieron al tiburón. Yum, 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 yum. Se comieron al tiburón. Tell me, are you going to be ready when the revolution comes? Tell me, are you going to be ready when the revolution comes? It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. You're gonna be ready when the revolution comes. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's here. Just kidding. but I know that it's very near. So we must believe, we must have faith, we work hard, we must be strong. Soon it will come and we will find out why the good change takes so long. Tell me, are you gonna be ready when the revolution comes? Tell me, are you gonna be ready when the revolution comes? It's not a question of if, it's just a question of when. Tell me, are you gonna be ready when the revolution comes? Thank you all. Be strong, be well, have love and humility in your heart, and let's make this a better planet. And let's end this Zoom, and let's give these people some rest so they can keep going tomorrow to Wellesley Friends Meeting House. Bye, everybody.